All right, to discuss more, we're now being joined by Dr. Avner Cohen, a professor of non-proliferation and terrorism studies at the Middlebury Institute. He's joining us on the broadcast from Ontario. Thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
All right, let's begin with what Trump has said. Trump said he's open to a dialogue with Iran. And meanwhile, Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister of Iran, has said that, we will come to the table after we see no firing from Israel. Do you think coming on the table is a possibility Iran might take at this point?
Yes, but I don't think that there is conditions, at least not being visible conditions, that the two countries can discuss. It is not clear whether President Trump is willing to be a broker or whether he's joining in terms of demands to Iran. He talks about absolute surrender, total surrender. So it's not clear at this time what is the negotiation about and who are the advocates of the two sides. I guess there is a lot of stuff that's going on which is outside sight.
Right, and on that note, even foreign ministers of Germany and UK and France, they are also trying to work up a plan to try and get a meeting done and meet the Iranian foreign minister. How do you analyze that?
It's a delicate and complicated situation in a number of ways. For one thing, Israel and Iran has never been discussed directly. It was always through others, through negotiators. Israel and Iran do not have diplomatic relations. So there are some parties who represent them. Right now, it is not clear who can represent, what are the demands, to what extent those demands are being supported by others, the United States or the Europeans, and Iranian replies to that. For example, the most sticking issue is the request, the demand, essentially, to have a plan to dismantle the Iranian nuclear weapons program. Well, Iran denies to have a nuclear weapons program. It claims only to have a civilian program. Israel has claimed that Iran has moved very, very fast towards the bomb. So how to move to have that kind of discussion? Obviously, even previously, when the IAEA was involved, there was a lot of issues that were not resolved. Questions about weaponization, questions about various kind of activities, questions about locations of the enriched uraniums and the like. So there is a lot of issues, and it's not clear whether there is right now some kind of common level to have those negotiations.
And talking about U.S., Donald Trump has neither denied or accepted the fact that, U.S. can take part in this whole conflict. Israel, on the other hand, is trying to get the U.S. How long do you think Israel can stand trying to counter all these attacks by Iran? And how do you compare the capabilities of Iran and Israel? And which one would be more proficient to go for a longer conflict?
I think by now, after 6 days, it's very, very clear, and to many it is a great surprise how easily Israel has been able to weaken Iran, and in some respect, even almost to defeat it. Israel has achieved complete superiority over Iranian sky. Israel has demonstrated incredible, accurate, and timely intelligence to the point of targeting and eliminating so many top generals and top nuclear figures in Iran. Israel was able to reach out distances which are over 2,000 kilometers from its own borders. Many of us even though we expected Israel to have a quite significant first blow, we are surprised of those achievements. Now, in terms of the Iranian response, it took almost a full day, I think 17 or 18 hours to respond with retaliation. Everybody expected it to be within 2 or 3 hours. It took 17 or 18 hours. In the first 2 or 3 days, it was to a degree heavy. I think it was salvo of 30 or 40 In each wave, it was 2 waves a night, and so it was a little bit close to 100. By the last 2 nights, it was much less. So it appears that Iran has difficulties to be able to launch its missiles. It appears that many of the launchers, those platforms by which you can launch those missiles, were hit by Israel. One estimate is that almost 50%, half of the Iranian launches. So Iran have clearly limits in terms of responding, and the Israeli superiority is quite visible.
But then we also have the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei saying that we can still respond. Where do you think the
Yes.
confidence is coming from then? Are we not, is Israel underestimating probably the military power that Iran might have?
Well, many people ask that this very question itself. Um, Iran may have a certain type of weapon that it has not used so far. Iran also has some possibility to do damage, not just to Israel, but to the West, in terms of closing and damaging traffic, naval traffic over the Hormuz Straits. But in terms of Israel vis-a-vis Iran, so far the Iranian response has been much less effective than has been thought, and we see, in fact, quite diminishing results in the coming 2 days or so.
Right, and also I would like to take your opinion on what Russian President have been saying. He said a deal that satisfies both Israel and Iran is possible, and he wants to act as a mediator. Looking at the relationships, Russia and Putin does have good relations with Netanyahu. On the other hand, Iran has been helping Russia with the drones in the Ukraine war. Can Putin and Russia actually play a mediator in this conflict?
Obviously, Iran would like to have an advocate on each side, and Putin is could be that kind of thing, that kind of advocate or support. Uh, President Trump was quite negative. He said that he was unable to get any help from Putin on the issue of Ukraine, and this issue first, he would like to see something on Ukraine before Putin has something to do with the Iran-Israeli conflict. So there are voices, as you mentioned, even the European, in particular the French and the Germans, also started to have their own plans. The issue that 5 or 6 days of war has not yet been before the United Nations Security Council. You may expect that once there is some idea of negotiation, it will come to the United Nations Security Council. So it's still in the beginning, and in my view, it will take a little time, a few days, until we'll have some more clarity about what's going on.
All right, and also talking about the U.S. involvement, there has been, Trump has not been clear whether U.S. will take part, but there has been some sort of
Not at all.
disagreements in the U.S. Congress as well, the Republicans.
That's right.
How do you analyze Trump's now? Is that he's saying that now we want to go ahead with diplomacy? Is it because of the pressure that he's been feeling that yes, U.S. might not be able to take part in this conflict?
Well, there are two forces that are debating very strongly within the Republican Party and within the inner circle of President Trump. One is the MAGA, which tend to be isolationist, do not want to be engaged in foreign military campaigns and the like. And then there is the traditional part of the Republican Party who strongly supportive of Israel, and they would like to have that kind of support visible. I think President Trump, as of now, is not very willing, not at least at first, to use kinetic stuff. But at the same time, he makes very credible threats by providing a lot of American military assets to the region. We're talking about 3 carriers groups. None of them is there yet, but on their way. We're talking about advance of a lot of refueling aircrafts, 22 of them or so. We're talking about assets on the Diego Garcia, which are in striking range from Iran. So there is a certain pressure. And he asked from Iran to have a plan towards actual eliminations of the nuclear weapons element within the Iranian program, nuclear program. So we'll see where it goes. We need to have still clarity about those issues, and we have not seen them, at least on the public domain, the public side.
Right, and also about the goal of U.S. was about not letting Iran have the nuclear weapons. Iran says it does not have, and it does not even intend to have it. What kind of deal would actually want to make Iran to come, and what kind of solution is there? Is it Israel actually going after all the facilities and trying to make Iran just not being able to make any kind of progress on nuclear? What are the possible solutions to this conflict as of now, according to you?
Yeah, yeah. From what we know right now, Israel already has damage to quite a number of key installations in the Iranian nuclear program. We talk in particular about the area of enrichment, and that prime facility is called Natanz. Israel has destroyed element on the ground, and there is some question to what degree Israel was able to destroy elements underground, in particular those assembly halls where there's centrifuge. Hundreds, in fact, thousands of them are being located. While Israel hits the electrical support, it may have, even without the physical destroying of those centrifuge, to make a great damage to them. So we do not know the exact damage. There is also the conversion facility in Isfahan. One facility which has not been damaged, which has not been attacked, is the one which is fortified in the mountain, very deeply dug in the mountain in Qum, the Fordow facility. And the Fordow facility, only the United States had the suitable weapons to hit that. Israel have some weapons, but it's not clear whether that happened could be that effective with that facility. My own view is that a great deal of the Iranian enrichment capacity has been damaged. Whether it's for months or over a year, that's difficult to say. This is also the tricky issue, because enrichment, in principle, it could be the method to create fissionable materials for weapons. Indeed, Iran does have quite a deal of enriched uranium at a level of 60%. It's not the weapons level, but it's quite close to the weapon level, which is 90%. If those facilities were destroyed, it definitely will have an impact. At the same time, I should mention that enrichment facility could also be used for civilian purposes, but with much lower level. So I think the control of the enrichment program of Iran is critical to have some kind of plan to ensure that Iran would not have nuclear weapons, would not have a program towards nuclear weapons.
Right, and considering that, of course, you do need some kind of diplomatic treaty which can ensure, because if Israel is not able to destroy those nuclear plants, the next probably would be to ensure that Iran is not able to do it. But do you think Iran would agree to that kind of treaty?
I think that Iran will have to. It doesn't have to be necessarily a treaty. Iran is a signatory to the non-proliferation treaty. There is some discussion whether Iran would leave or not would leave, withdraw from that treaty. But we have specific agreement stronger than the one that was under President Obama, the one that President Trump withdrew, to create some kind of reassurance about the future. There is no question that kinetic campaign is not a final reassurance about the future. There needs to be an agreement, and the agreement needs to be solid, and it has to be for the long run. And we don't have that, and I think that some negotiation is going to be on that.
All right. Well, we'll have to leave it at that, but thank you so much, Dr. Avner Cohen. Always a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for giving your insights.
Thank you. Thank you.